What's up, everyone? Virgil In The Cut here, and we are back at home, and does it feel good to be back? I honestly loved my time in Seattle last week, but there's something about being able to pass out in your own bed at night that is amazing. I'm also generally a homebody, so coming home also means I get to recharge my social batteries and get ready for the next adventure. But now that we're 4 months in, I thought this was a great opportunity to take a step back from the usual content and chat about a few questions that you have all been asking me since I started this journey. In complete honesty, I haven't been checking the metrics on this channel. Whoops, but maybe that can be a good thing. It's allowed me to just enjoy creating these videos without feeling like I need to chase numbers on how these videos perform or anything like that. But for those of you interested in that kind of thing, we are up to 89 subscribers now, at least at the time of making this video, and we're at 1.5 thousand views, so dope. Technically, this is episode 13, so cheers to all that sustainable progress. I'm looking forward to continuing this ride with all of you. But with that said, I just want to answer two common questions that I often get from viewers or friends who have happened upon this channel. Of course, if you do have any other questions that you want me to answer, feel free to send them my way in the comments below or here on Instagram. This video is a little bit different, again, from the usual content. A lot of what I'm going to say here is pretty much unscripted and just kind of off the cuff, sharing my thoughts to questions you all have asked. Also, this video is a little bit more chill than some of the past videos I've put. Obviously, there's a lot more B-roll in this video, and it's just mostly my voice as a voiceover, although that might be a good thing. Apparently, when I first started putting out the first few videos, a lot of people commented on how my voice was really soothing on this mic, which is funny because it's always weird to hear the sound of your own voice, especially on videos, and I've never thought of my voices as the soothing type, but hey, if it works, it works, and who knows, maybe we'll do some ASMR in the future. But next week, we'll go back to some of the more usual content. But yeah, let's get into it. So one question I get pretty often is, why did I decide to create this channel? Why sustainable productivity? And the short answer is I created this channel for a few of my former high school students. So as I mentioned in past videos, I used to be a high school teacher, and I still stay in touch with a lot of my students now who are off living their post-high school lives, starting careers, continuing their education in college or grad school, everything in between. On top of that, I continue to work with undergraduates in my current day job, and through my conversations with students, former students, and even a lot of my peers, I noticed that many of us have the same questions and struggles, and a lot of the struggles that I had in high school and college, and even afterwards. Questions like, how do I develop myself professionally? Struggles like, how do I prevent burnout? How do I deal with stress, imposter syndrome? How can I be productive sustainably? And a lot of these questions don't necessarily have a life course, right, where you can take this class and learn helpful advice to help navigate a lot of these life issues. But as someone who's been a little further along the journey, who has experienced a lot of those similar obstacles, I wanted to share tips I wish I heard when I was in high school, college, or in the earliest parts of my professional career. And so as I started making these videos, it was actually only just for a handful of students who had reached out to me, especially during finals week. I think there was this one particular week where a lot of my students were just feeling stressed. Former students were feeling overwhelmed, trying to balance work and school and family issues and everything all at once. And so I started making my first videos on this channel for them. But as I started sharing these videos, it was actually really cool to hear from friends and honestly people I haven't been in contact with in such a long time reach out and tell me how these videos have helped them in some way. So I'm having fun with all these videos and I'm having fun making them. So I hope you stick around for the ride. I'll continue to make these, and as long as, there are people out there who find value in these videos, then I'll keep making them. So the second question I get a lot, especially right after they hear why I started this YouTube channel, is just where does the name Virgil In The Cut come from? So that's actually my legal name. My first name is Virgil, last name is Cut. My middle name is In The. It's actually spelled I-N-T-H-E. Let me stop. So the answer to this question, my name is not actually Virgil In The Cut. But the answer to this is a little nerdy, but it does share a little bit of insight into how I want this content that I make on this channel and elsewhere to help others and hopefully you. So I chose Virgil as kind of as an homage to this book that I read in high school called The Inferno. So The Inferno is actually the first of 3 parts of this trilogy known as the Divine Comedy, written by Dante Alighieri. I guess minor spoilers ahead. We do spoiler warnings for books too, right? But anyway, if you haven't read this book, it literally was written like in the 14th century, so it's been around. I know it was loosely adapted as a video game too in recent years, but like I mentioned, this book was one of my favorites in English class in high school. And in The Inferno, the main character, Dante, is being led out of hell by the ancient Roman poet Virgil, who kind of acts as Dante's guide. Now, Virgil is actually also in hell and guides Dante as he tries to get to heaven. But especially if you look at the Inferno as just this first part of that trilogy, you see that Virgil doesn't actually travel the full journey that Dante does. He doesn't guide Dante in the final leg of his journey. And so I wanted to make these videos in that same kind of spirit. We each have our own personal hells, obstacles, or tiny missteps in our lives. And so, like Virgil, I hope that my content helps guide you out of those obstacles. I may not have all the answers because I'm walking a very similar path that you might be walking, but I hope that my perspective can shed a little light on your own path so you can see a little clearer. So talking about the In The Cut part of Virgil In The Cut. So In The Cut refers to something that is off the beaten path or not necessarily easy to find. And in a lot of ways, this has been my own experience with a lot of the most important lessons or realizations I've come across in my own development journey. A lot of the time, the answers for me haven't been where I thought I would find them. Actually, almost all of the time, the answers for me were clear only in retrospect, after the fact. But I think that's what makes the growth even more valuable and exciting, because to get to where you need to be or to get to where you are today, you sometimes have to dig deep. You have to often go down a path that is considered less conventional, but regardless of how windy those paths are or how unpredictable they are, you can still use the journey, use those unconventional paths to get to where you need to go. So that's what it means to be in the cut. Overall, I want to be a guide, regardless of whether or not we have the exact same journey. We may have similar problems, we may have similar obstacles, and I hope my perspective can, shed a little light so that you can see a little bit farther, a little bit clearer, even if it's just 2 to 3 steps ahead. But yeah, that's what the name means, and it's been a ton of fun making these videos as Virgil, but that's all for now. I'll probably answer some more questions in future videos as I continue making content, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next cut.